Have you ever struggled with feeling this impulse to be a helper in your family, your friends, and your relationships? You give people advice they didn't ask for, and although it was with good intentions, afterwards you ended up feeling icky and maybe even more disconnected from the person that you actually hoped to help and really connect with. My name is Jacqueline Foster, and I'm a published author and coach, and my passion is really helping people shift from stuck to self-trust. So if you enjoy this area of topics, subscribe to this channel, and you can also find me on Instagram at Foster Jacqueline, or you can email me directly if you're like, oh my gosh, I want help with some of this stuff, like I need a coach. I'm gonna leave my details in the bottom below. In the comments, you can feel free to reach out. So I'm so excited to be talking about untangling what it means to help someone so that both you and whoever it is you're hoping to help in your life can experience the benefits. And I want to specifically give you 3 golden nuggets that you can keep in mind when you're interacting with your partner, your family, your friends, those people that are close to you that you care about deeply, so that you can bring out the best both in them and in you. So it can be so very seductive to offer advice when it wasn't requested, right? And to do it in the name of contributing to someone's well-being, right? I'm just trying to help, or, oh, if you just listen to me, this would be better, right? But it often leads to frustration and feeling stuck energy for both the giver and the receiver. And part of the reason that I'm so passionate about this myself is I used to waste so much of my precious time and energy on trying to help people who weren't asking for it, right? And again, your intentions are good on some level, right? But what's probably also true is that it's draining and it isn't inspiring or bringing out the best in anyone. So let's give you some nuggets that you can remember if you have this helper impulse to just help it slow it down so you can start to create a new habit. So first, people ask for help when they want it and when they're ready for it, right? We are capable of incredible things as humans, but we want to do it in alignment with what feels right and true for us. And for that to happen, we need space. We need space for that to emerge. And giving someone space to be exactly where they are now in their self-discovery process is a massive gift. So if you see someone struggling, you can always ask if they need something, right? But you can also remember that sometimes space is just the most amazing, perfect thing. Saying to someone, I love you, I know you've got this, let me know if you need anything, and then actually stepping away to give them space is a tremendous gift. Think about a moment when you were struggling and maybe you were trying to figure something out. Did you want unsolicited advice? Or did you want to feel spacious, like you had the time and energy and the oomph to organize your thoughts, to reach out for support when you were ready, and when for you it was like a full yes, right? That's when we want to ask for support. Which brings me to my second nugget. The thing that you can offer that is far more influential than advice is modeling living a life that you love, taking chances on yourself, doing healing work, facing your fears. I think far too often we can forget about and minimize the knowledge that how we live our lives creates a ripple of impact. And when you live your best life, you offer an invitation and inspiration to those who are looking for it. Right? Again, think about your life for a moment. Who inspires you? Is it the person who calls you telling you that they're worried about you and that they think that you should do such and such with your life? Or is it the people who are taking chances on themselves, right? They're growing, they're healing, they're adventuring, they're living their best life. I know for me, it's the people that model living the things that get me excited, that makes me the most inspired to want to change and live my best life, or gets me emotionally charged in a way that I want to address, right? So you get to be that person for others in your journey too, and you have no idea how far that'll reach. Which brings me to number 3. If you feel the impulse to help someone and it comes from a frantic negative emotion, get curious about it it's so important to remember that when we feel negative emotions about something, it is a healing opportunity within, because it's showing us a place that we have unresolved within ourselves. It's one thing to know that you'd want to do something different than someone else, or that you have different values, or you observe something and you were like, oh, I wouldn't want to do that, but it's neutral. This is very different than when we see someone doing something that we don't like and we clearly have an emotional response to it. Those are the times where it's so important to go within. But it's important to remember that these are some of the most seductive moments when your brain is gonna want to go, nope, this one isn't about me. They need to change first before I can focus on myself, right? But I'm welcoming you to pause and to be open to the idea that that's a trap, right? And you have the responsibility and the privilege to take responsibility for your own happiness and your well-being, so you can bring that energy back to yourself, right? And something that you might need to unlearn is that you are not responsible for another person's happiness, and they are not responsible for yours. Happiness is an inside journey, and as we get to understand ourselves better, as we understand our emotional charging things, we get to then adapt, look at our support systems and our family units, and make sure they support our most authentic life. But in order to do that, and for that to kind of come out in the way that feels the most authentic, we have to do this inner work. So think about asking yourself in those moments when you feel triggered, what is coming up for me that I'm telling myself that I need to help this person? And what would it mean about me, for example, if I were to stay quiet and not offer advice? Am I making that mean that I would be a bad daughter, a bad spouse, a bad something, right? You might find that there's energy around that. So take that time to pause, do that reflection work. I hope these 3 nuggets offer you something to work with, something to play with, something to have permission around, and something to just keep yourself as an anchor to pause, to create new ways of relating, new ways of showing up in your life and your relationships that feel more energizing, more inspiring, and more connective. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you want more one-on-one support, take a look in the comments below. Feel free to reach out. Wishing you an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.